Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Robert, and today I want to discuss why I'm putting tiny epic dungeons on my trade pile. I held off on playing this for about a year. It was in my shelf for a while. Reason why is I wasn't looking forward to learning this game because I heard some disencouraging things about the iconography and the rulebook, so I put it off for a while. But I did finally try it a couple weeks ago. Played it 4 times solo, and I'll mention this: the Diced app tutorial, pretty well done. It eased the process of learning it definitely. However, that does not fix the problem of the rulebook being a mess, and it simply is a mess. It's not a very intuitive game, and let's also talk about the iconography. So I just don't know what they were thinking with the iconography, to be honest with you folks. I see the advantage of it. It makes the game language agnostic. Like, I get it. That has its advantages. But at the same time, it's just so impractical and disrespectful of the player's time. I really honestly don't know what they were thinking with trying to pull this. And also, um, you have to print the appendix, all right, that explains everything in just plain English. And from what I understand, if it wasn't included, like if you were a backer of this game, which I wasn't, this is a retail copy, they did not include that because you need it. Like they might try to say how it's like an optional thing. No. You need to download that appendix, and because especially because of some spell effects, there are some spell effects where there's no way that you're gonna figure out what that spell does and do it properly without reading it in plain English. The iconography is just absolutely absurd. Okay, so it is such a shame, right? So I typically, when I have a poor experience with a game, I really try to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe let it sit and come back to it a few months. I do not ever see myself playing this ever again, and it is such a shame because on paper it's so this is a dungeon, a full dungeon crawler experience that fits in a small box, right? So when I was playing it, you know, once I got over the rules bump and understood how to read the iconography, which was a thankless task, but once I got over that, in my couple of initial plays, I was having some fun, especially with the loot. Okay, I was getting some, like dopamine hits from just getting the loot and exploring. I was liking that and just beating goblins. The thing is, biggest issue with this game is, among other things, this torch track is just unforgiving, man. Look, I would like the option of exploring the dungeon a bit more, and it doesn't. This time restraint, this race against the clock with the torch track is just too much. And look, I didn't even, in my 4 plays, I didn't even get to see the boss once. So I wasted time like learning. As one should. You should You should study the whole rule book. I think that's, in my opinion, I like understanding the whole rule book before I start playing, and I wasted my time learning how the boss mechanics work because you're probably not gonna see the boss for many plays. And I wasn't expecting that. I really thought that I was gonna see the boss within the first few plays. Not even close. And I read some commentaries and reviews on Board Game Geek that a lot of people don't get to see the boss, let alone beat it, until 20 or 25 plays in. Why do you make your game so difficult? And that's the biggest thing. That's why I'm getting rid of this. It's so difficult. Why? Why did you make it so difficult? Why? and there's no way to adjust difficulty officially. This is just what you're given. And I know that there's people that, they'll house rule a game to fix it, but folks, here's the thing: like, not everyone visits Board Game Geek. Some families, a dad or a family, will just walk up to a, a LGS, and they'll see this and they'll buy it, and they don't know that the appendix, and they do link it here. There is a QR code, but it's not directly to the appendix, by the way. It's just to the product page, and you have to scroll down to find the appendix, right? But they're not gonna know that the appendix is a requirement, basically. I mean, that QR code honestly should be directly to the appendix, not to the product page. So they're not gonna know that. They're not gonna, they're not gonna go on Board Game Geek and see like what they should do to like improve their strategy. Some people don't do that. Like, a family just picks this up and they go through the dice tutorial, which is well done, again, to be fair. But they're just, these folks are poor people. Are just gonna keep getting beaten over and over, and that is just not fun, folks. And there's a couple schools of thought about difficulty with these types of games, right? There are some folks that think that a game feels rewarding when you have to play it like 50 times until you beat it once, and that's when it feels super satisfying. And then there's the other school of thought where you give your player a reward early on, and then you add incentive and you add extra difficulty levels and things like that. And I can see the benefits of both. I've played games that are very punishing that you rarely ever win, but in this case, I think they really should have gone with the latter mentality. Let your player have fun, explore the dungeon, beat the game, and then add more difficulty layers. Not this out of the box. And the reason for that is this game is not a breeze to set up. It is a pain to set up. And after setting up, I really don't. It really doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth that I spend all of that effort learning it, setting it up, and then I just get my ass handed to me when there's nothing I could have done about it. There is some strategizing. There definitely is a bit of strategy with building your team, like picking your characters and how how you adapt to the threat, but to a pretty big extent, you're just at the mercy of the dice and the way in which the rooms come out. So there's a lot of times where no matter what you would have done, you're gonna get destroyed, no matter what. So I really don't know why they went with that. And I didn't. There's no way to adjust difficulty here. It's just that's what you're given. Good luck. And it's such a shame, again, because, okay, yeah, the iconography, I think, honestly, is, I don't know what they were thinking, but the one advantage of that is it makes the game language agnostic. And when I was, for that brief moment of time where I was enjoying it, I was thinking to myself, man, I think I finally found a dungeon crawler that I can play with my family. Because once you understand it, like, I think it's relatively easy to explain to people, but just the rulebook doesn't do it any favors. But it's such a shame. Components are great. It's a small box. It's artwork is beautiful, but what does it matter? I don't want to experience this again. It's just so depressingly difficult, and it just doesn't respect the player's time. I think I've said that already. I just really have a disdain for games that do this. You do not respect your player's time. The setup is annoying for how difficult it is. You don't provide me an option to adjust the difficulty officially. I'm not gonna house rule it. Sorry, I'm not gonna do that. You should have figured that out after raising $1 million and play testing it. Give people a way officially to a play tested way of adjusting difficulty. The time constraint in this game is just not fun. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not ever gonna play this again. I don't want this. I don't want this in my collection. It's such a shame. But Yeah, folks, that's tiny epic dungeons. But for those that enjoyed, good for you. I hope you have fun with it. And yeah, to the trade pile this goes. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, put that in the comment section. And if you want to see more of this content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.